Would you believe me if I told you that was 550 pounds? What's up, everybody? How you doing? Thank you for tuning into a brand new video. So I'm going to make this how-to video short and sweet. I'm not going to be one of those people who carry things out for like 20 minutes just to try to figure out how to do something. So today I have a 2021 Canam X3 Turbo RR, and I've been having, as everybody else, having issues with it just getting really hot back here, melting the ice of the coolers or whatever it might be. And to dumb that down about 20 degrees, you can buy a cheap $70 option. And at least that's where I go for. And I go down to my boys Geiser Performance, and I will leave a link. I'm not sponsored or nothing like that. They're not paying me to say any of this kind of crap. But I will leave a link of this here heat shield, which is really slim. And down below, so you can just pick one up for yourself. And it looks like it'll do all years of Canams up from, I think, 2018 above, I think. Check their website out, and let's get to it. Also, the heat shield is actually going to be going in between. As you can see, there's some heat shield right there as it is, I guess, and then but that doesn't work enough. And I don't have a laser pointer to see how hot it is at full temperature versus when that thing's on. I don't really have that. Just take my word for it. I've seen a lot of reviews. My uncle's done this, and yeah, you don't have to take off too many plastics. All you gotta do is just take off this back plastic right here, this black piece, and then just slide right in. Uses the aftermarket bolts, which are around here somewhere. I will definitely show you. Let's go. All right, so the next thing, assuming that it's going, the next thing you gotta do, you gotta take off this big old fascia plate here in the back, and it's just 5 Torx, which is actually a T30, and which is, I use this little Amazon tool right yonder. Not even sure what brand it is, I guess. Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. We got the extender with a T30 on the side because Canams are built like Torx. And so you're gonna have 5 Torx, like I was saying. There's one right under here, the BRP symbol right under there. And then there's gonna be 2 on each side, which are, where are they at? Yep, one right there. And then we got one here. And then one right up here. Both on each side. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them off, and we'll see you guys in a second. All right. So I went ahead and took off this middle Torx, which is right yonder. If you don't have one of these magnetic little dishes device, I highly recommend it. And I put it in the order of the way the bolts come out, just because I have an OCD. So anyways, we're gonna take off these 2. Let's get right into it. It's nice when you have power tools. There is a Torx here, like I was saying. Comes out one, and then there's one right down yonder. Yep, and then we're gonna go ahead and do it on the other side. Come on there on yonder. Here's the top one. You know, people knock these cheap tools, but hey, the times you have to use them, it's very minimal. If I was a mechanic, maybe I might go Snap-on. Who would that say? Let's get this last bottom one here. Here she comes. When you get the bolts all taken out and all that jazz, this face is just gonna hang there. Definitely make sure you have a hand on it, because it's obviously got your license plate lights connected to it, and instead of unhooking it and all that jazz, you can just pick it up and just make sure you don't bend them wires. You can kind of turn it just a hair, just to kind of get it out of the way. That's all you need. So this heat shield, after you get that fascia plate put off, you do need to take this off. It's only 4 10mm bolts, which are right yonder, and we go get those taken off, and then we will slide this puppy in. All right, so you kind of have to get to the back bolts of this old like heat shield here, so we had to add some extensions with some curvedy didgeridoos. But then once all the 4 bolts are off, it just comes right on out. This is the old pile, and we're gonna put the new pile in, and it should use all these bolts, not these ones, but then these 2 holes right here, the additional screws should go line right up. So let's get to it. Also, for what I forgot to mention is this bracket here, this didgeridoo. Actually, if you can just get to these bolts without taking the original heat shield off, this whole bracket just comes right off, and then the new heat shield, which is right there, we'll just use these mounts, these positions here, and then where we showed you earlier, wherever it's at, right there. All right, so these back mounts over here, I'm still taking this one off. Very difficult kind of to get to on at least the driver's side of the machine. However, probably not the right one, but they do use a 5/16 socket, and then the upper ones are a 10mm. So to get these brackets off. Anyways, we'll see you guys then. All right, so now that you got that original heat shield off with the brackets, you definitely don't need those. We found that out 100%. So now, whatever heat shield you decide to use, I go with Geiser. Like I said earlier in today's video, I will put a link down below so you guys can go check this out. It's $70, not a big deal. It'll keep your machine cool, or at least keep your ice cool, you know what I mean? But anyways, so the way to put this in, after you take the heat shield and the brackets off, it just slides right on in. So there's no special way of doing it. Now, however, if you have a catch can, what's gonna happen is you're gonna see there is a hose right here. You'll see there's a hose that's kind of like binded up here, but obviously hoses are flexible, and this will just come right on in. And you're gonna, before I put this in, you're gonna use this mount right here, this mount, and then the two bracket mounts that you have taken off on each one. And then it's just 8 bolts, and you just slide this puppy right on in, and boom, slaps right on in. So we're gonna go ahead and bolt this up, and I'll see you guys here in a second. All right, so we got, it actually wasn't too bad, but we got the heat shield put into place, and it just, like I said, takes these 8 bolts. I actually kept the back bolts over here only because I was using the same threads, and it's kind of tight, at least with people with big hands, tight to get into. But yeah, it's solid, it's good. It's gonna keep everything up top super cool, and it's gonna be great. So hopefully this helped y'all. And then also to put this back plate on, also to put this back plastic on, all it is just those 5 Torx. You put them back into place and you are good to go. Let's go.